Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to FTRL for a very, very special occasion. This is the debut of our new F3 division. This is their pre-season testing around Austria. Plenty of new faces, some returning names, some familiar names you might recognise from other leagues that we've got. And it's something that we've been working extremely hard on for a very long time, and we've finally been able to make this happen. So joining me to unravel this kind of unknown really is going to be Mr. Blue Flag himself, Simon, and Mr. Triggered himself, Mr. Joe Burns. Good evening, chaps. How are we?
Evening. I was alright until that interruption, but now I'm just triggered.
Sorry, I'm excited, mate. This is a debut. This is a big thing for us.
It is. It's exciting.
It is. I mean, yeah. Whoever thought we would get to 3 divisions? What a strange occurrence.
Very weird.
Anyway, right,
Yep,
so...
well, here we are.
Exactly, right. Well, we've got 16 drivers on the grid. A couple of guys missing out due to holidays and other reasons and whatnot. Obviously, our proper season starts next week. We'll go through the teams very shortly. We've got a couple of Div 2 drivers in here by the way of FTRL Goy Karp and FTRL Donzo. Familiar faces, legends if you will. They're going to be coming in here to fill up some numbers. Like I said earlier on, we are pretty much hitting the unknown really. A lot of these guys have got no idea what their pace is going to be like, what we're kind of working with here, so we're going to discover it just the same as all of you. So chaps, first question I've got to ask you is obviously a debut for the F3 drivers. Obviously, like we said, we don't really know too much about them. Austria, how are we thinking is that for like a debut track for them?
Well, turn one's going to be interesting.
Very good point.
It's interesting enough in a regular league race. So, like you say, with the unknown quantities we've got here, and especially with like the new game dynamics, like the braking and everything in the new game, yeah, it's going to make turn one very entertaining.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Joe?
Yeah, it's quite a difficult track, Austria. Like Blue Flag sort of mentioned, with the new sort of mechanics, especially with the understeery sort of cars, that double left-hander in the middle sectors is going to be quite difficult, especially if you're in dirty air as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how the new guys do. I'm sure for some of the new guys it's not their first league race, but yeah, new league, new drivers around them, so it'll be good.
Exactly. Well, we'll have to. I mean, there's a lot to get through. So, I mean, like we need to sort of put into account. Obviously, we've got our normal F1 division. We've got F2, where we've got a lot of returning drivers that we've had in previously before. F2 is going to be really competitive this season, and obviously we've got F3 as well. A lot of these guys, it is their kind of first ever step into F1 league racing, or people that use maybe a lot of assists or various things like that. So the pace itself might not be blistering, but everyone's got to start somewhere, and this is what we try and promote in FTRL. So it's going to be quite a variation of pace. I think there's going to be a lot of things that we're going to learn as well this evening, but nevertheless I think it might be time to go through our teams for the season. Obviously, like I said, we have got a few people missing tonight. We'll kind of try and discuss them along the way. How much we're going to get out of that, I really don't know. But yeah, so in the Mercedes it is going to be the Preheated Oven and British Beanhead, who was formerly known as Rich T Gaming. So those two very, very good friends in the Mercedes. Preheated Oven looks like an early season contender for at least promotion, I would say, this season. Obviously we'll get a better understanding of it going forward. In the Ferrari we have got Nexus Aspect, who's here tonight, and LK Ivan, who's somebody that you kind of know, Joe. Am I right in saying that?
I don't know him, no.
Oh, okay, well,
never spoke to him. But,
somebody that's been referred through the league through you. So, okay, so we'll roll with that. So, in the Red Bull, we've got Jamie, who is a member of PSGL, somebody that's raced for a long time. And joining him is AN18, but I think to everybody, I think he's known as AJ. So we'll probably try and integrate that as the season goes on. So AJ is the way forward for that. So Lee Cole, obviously in the Renault alongside Andrew Haig. Andrew isn't here, but what I can tell you about him is that he's very, very quick. He's definitely a one to watch. And Lee Cole as well, he's a member of our GT Sport division. Simon, quick word on Lee. I know obviously you haven't seen his F1 pace, but GT Sport, do you think it'll be a good transition for him?
It's an interesting one going between the two games. I mean, just because someone's quick in one doesn't make them quick in another. I mean, look at me, I'm a snail in F1, but not too bad on GT. So yeah, it's a funny one. It'll be interesting to see how it pans out. But you know, he's a consistent, clean racer, so that always carries across.
Exactly. Well, he's shown a little bit of nice form early on here. He's sitting in P4 on the medium tyres. Obviously, we'll get through to the tyre eradication soon. In the Haas, we've got House of Zom, or what was House of Zom, is now Zom 53, and TRS. So they're both drivers that were in F2 last season. So we kind of know what to expect from these guys. Hopefully, they might find it a bit more competitive in F3. I know they're both new to it all. So good luck to both of those guys. In the McLaren, we have got the legendary Agent Panda, and we've got his teammate BLTTL14, so we're going to call him BLT. It seems very fitting to do that. Swedish guy, I don't have any clue about his pace whatsoever. He spoke to me, said he found us on the Codemasters forums, as a lot of our drivers do, and yeah, he seemed like a lovely guy, really eager, so let's see what he's made of. Let's go on board with Mr. Foggy, who we'll be talking about in a moment. In the Racing Point, we've got LR Cooper, who has been in FTRL before under a different name. I think it was SSR Cooper. Seems to have found a lot of pace since then. And Hyper GT Racer, who has also been in FTRL before on the GT Sports side, formerly known as Mr. Humiliations. So he didn't have the best of times last time in GT Sport. And SSR Cooper as well, seems like he's found quite a nice bit of pace. I've been referred on to him by a lot of people saying that he's one to watch. A lot of people think he's going to walk this division. Now I think he might have a bit of a shock when he sees a few of these guys. In the Alfa Romeo, we have got Liam 0619, so Liam will be the straightforward way to refer to him, and Big Pizzas, who's got one of the best names in FTRL.
Love that.
Yeah, he's away on holiday, so Liam is holding the fort for the Alphas tonight. Now, he raced in the F2 race last night, and Joe, you was kind of around him at some stage. Did you get much of an impression from Liam?
I passed him while he was in the barrier, that's about it.
Fair enough. But he seemed to have pretty good pace. I know he didn't obviously qualify.
He's definitely up there.
Yeah, he didn't qualify.
Side of the bar.
But he was keeping pace with some of the sort of top guys in F2, so he's going to be one to watch as well. Then in the last couple of teams in the Toro Rosso, we've got T Smith, who we're currently on board with, referred to the league from the preheated oven. He's also got quite a nice bit of pace. And Blurry Sean, Simon, quick word on Blurry Sean, GT Sport again.
Before he vanished, he was starting to show, starting to find a little bit of pace on that game. So, like I say, we haven't seen him for a while, but you know, nice to have him back, and yeah, interested to see what he's been up to in his absence.
Yeah, exactly. Well, final team, we've got FTRL Foggy and we have got FTRL Junkie Sport. So Foggy, good friend of the league, good friend of myself. I've known him for longer than FTRL's been running. Lovely guy. He's over the moon that he's got the Williams car. I don't know why this is relevant, I suppose, to the league in any way, but Foggy's loved across multiple leagues. He's in the Marines, he's serves for his country, he's one of the best guys you'll ever meet. So I think he'll get a lot of support this season. And Junkie Sport obviously being a very close family friend and kind of family member to myself. So I'll be secretly a Williams fan, I think, for F3 this season. But yeah, Carl, as he's obviously formerly known to all of us, he's not one to back out of a challenge, and I'm sure he will adapt to this game very, very quickly and certainly put in the hours to match. So fingers crossed they have a good season between them. So that kind of wraps up the teams that we've got for this upcoming season. we'll get on to actual qualifying in a second. I'm just going to double check the stream and who's watching and whatever else. So yeah, keep the comments coming in. So Pagani's in there with boys F3 time. Danny Blake's in there. Hello ladies. Peatman, good luck to everyone in Div 3. Hijack Gaming saying Liam is absolutely fantastic. Bottle saying evening lads. Bottle's also saying hashtag Team Lee. Pagani supporting Agent Panda and Foggy. Matt Core supporting Lee and Junkie Sport. Matt Core's also not supporting Dan. He wants to make that abundantly clear. FTRL Bottle saying come on Junkie, and Peatman saying good luck to my pals TRS and Donzo. So keep the questions, comments, all sorts of stuff coming in. We'll try and make this race as entertaining as possible for you. So right, let's get a bit of a word from both of you then, chaps. So obviously Joe, we've got 5 minutes left to qualifying. We know obviously you joined FTRL for a couple of seasons, and obviously you're an admin now, you're a huge part of the league. You're making your return back to F1. Obviously you're in F2 for this upcoming season. How have you found readjusting to the game? And how this game's performed,
difficult,
if you like.
Yeah, I mean, especially coming from GT. So a few of the guys jumping over from GT, I think we'll find it a lot harder. But I think taking such a big break from F1, especially for me, and then coming back with all the sort of game changes that we've got this year, was definitely hard. I mean, I'm getting used to it now a little bit more. My race pace yesterday was not too bad, so looks promising.
Certainly does. And Sai, obviously, finally made that jump up to Division 1 after all this time.
Yeah, I've taken the training wheels off.
You certainly have. So you finally got yourself up into Div 1, or F1 as we're now going to call it. We need to make sure everyone that's watching...
So you've got to make that stick.
Yeah, we've got to make sure we're referring to it as F1, F2 and F3. I know we're going to slip up, but we've rebranded it for a reason, and we want to try and keep it that way. So please help us with that, correct us and whatnot, because I'm sure we're going to get it wrong. But obviously, yeah, so you've moved up to F1. After all this time, you finally got your reward. Moving on to No Traction. How have you... I know obviously it's been quite difficult. It's quite a difficult transition to make. How are you kind of getting on with it all?
It's certainly a challenge. I have discovered that I prefer the way the car feels on No Traction to medium traction. So yeah, it's just now a case of, like I say, getting to grips with it, no pun intended, and trying to find some pace on it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, one final thing before we get into the last couple of minutes of qualifying, and we'll kind of heat it up a little bit and get through to the laps. Obviously the tyre allocations have changed. We're now just on softs, mediums and hards. Beneficial for league racing, would you say? It's quite a difficult topic because there's split opinion about it.
It's so much easier.
I was going to say, it's beneficial to the point of it's... Oh, sorry. Preheated oven was coming through on a lap, and BLT had a moment. And he was just rejoining the track as he came by. Yeah, what was the question?
About the tyres, soft, mediums, hards.
Yeah, like I say, I think just referring to them soft, medium, hard's probably easier going forward. Yeah, I suppose they still ultimately do the same sort of job as what the allocations did on the last game. It's just simplified what we call them.
Especially from a commentator standpoint as well, it's so much easier to...
Well, that was it. That was always the thing when you were waiting to load into the lobby. Someone would always go, "What's the tyre allocation this week?"
Yeah. It's nice. I think the only thing that takes adjusting is the fact of obviously the red stripe was always super soft, the yellow stripe was always then soft, and then the white was always medium. So we're probably going to get that wrong at some stage as well. We're not perfect. We never try to be. But yeah. So right, 1 minute.
You'll pick it up pretty quick.
Oh yes. Must be said, Nexus Aspect Oh, I thought he was, yeah, he's trying to improve his time on the hard tyre. So if he can manage to do this, I'll be very impressed. I can't see that happening though, to be honest. Oh, he's hit the Harry Maguire corner. Right, what I'm going to do just before qualifying finishes, I'm just going to double check my audio settings because the game volume sounds quite loud to me on the stream, so bear with me a second.
Oh, Hyper GT is in the wall. Middle of sector 2? Just before sector 3, I think.
Okay, well at the moment, LR Cooper is just about to start his flying lap on the mediums again. Now he's already on provisional pole just over Liam. Liam's not going to make it out for another run. LR Cooper's going to run wide and ruin his lap, so he's not going to improve. Preheated oven.
I don't think preheated oven's going to improve because he's on his third lap on this set of tyres.
Exactly right. Well, next one down in the queue then is Foggy. Now Foggy's got to find near on a second to get himself up towards the top, but he's on the soft tyre. Foggy, very experienced racer.
I found with this new game as well, the soft tyres wear so quickly. Once you've basically done your outlap, they're pretty much spent at that point. So
kind of reminds me of it kind of reminds me of like the Hypersofts that was on last year's game. Foggy coming around the final corner. This could be a very good time. 1061. He's moved himself up to P5. Nexus Aspect still on a lap. He's on the hard tyres. He's half a second down, so he's probably not going to improve. And he's the last of the runners, other than
anyone left.
Junkie Sport. So it looks like LR Cooper has secured himself pole position. Obviously, this is just a pre-season race, but this is all good for bragging rights and mind games and so on. I'm just going to read a couple more comments in the stream before we go through. So we've got Catamy's in saying let's go Div 3. It's actually F3. I'm going to try and get that into your head. Hyper GT saying you didn't see me spin in the pit lane. We certainly did. Blue Scopes, alright lads, good evening mate. City Posh Blue saying Team Peatman even though he's not racing. Blue Scopes, I'm not racing, I'm on a plane back home. That's probably shouldn't be using your phone then. Ravens Event saying moment silence for FTRL Hammer Times. He go back to work today, forever in our hearts. Peatman saying well, live streaming from the skies, hashtag expensive. But yeah, other than that, right, let's get some predictions in then. Obviously qualifying's just about to finish itself, and people in the stream, your guess is as good as ours, but give us a podium tonight in order. That would be great. Anyone that predicts it will win a tweet from the FTRL channel saying you are an amazing human / genius.
I think a few drivers are going to struggle. Preheated oven, Foggy, Hyper GT all starting on the softs, so
yeah, I didn't expect that from preheated oven. I thought he would go on the medium tyre. I thought he would. He's left himself in a very difficult position by doing that.
I mean, luckily for him, he's not starting the race on that set of tyres he was just on. He didn't improve on his first time.
Right, okay. So, right, as it stands then, qualifying's complete. So we've got LR Cooper for Racing Point on pole, Liam of Alfa Romeo alongside him in second place, and we've got a second row of Preheated Oven and T Smith, two good friends there occupying the second row. Then we have got FTRL Foggy and Nexus Aspect, and then Williams and Ferrari respectively on the third row. Hyper GT starting on the softs in P7 with Donzo, the F2 driver, in P8. Lee Cole in Renault in P9 with Goykart rounding off the top 10. Then we've got AJ in 11th with TRS alongside him. Agent Panda and Zom occupy the 7th row, and BLT and Junkie Sport rounding off the grid for 15th and 16th. As we're about to get underway, just for the formation lap, who wants to do the honours? Who wants to do the formation lap honours? Because I have a very bad throat, so I don't really want to keep talking loads.
Well,
I mean, it's difficult to do a formation lap when you don't know much about
Well, this is a challenge.
The
This
grid.
is the challenge that I set you. Everyone in the stream, you've got 10 seconds. Hashtag Simon, hashtag Joe. Go for it.
Whoa,
Joe.
hang on a minute.
Now, come on. Whoever gets the most votes.
Just because you've got a sore
Hashtag
throat,
Simon,
that's
hashtag Joe. Let us
Come on,
know
Joe, I commentated
ASAP.
last night.
Hashtag Aaron.
No. None of that. Right, you've got 20 seconds till the session starts.
Put the first prediction in there as well.
Hashtag triggered, hashtag Aaron, hashtag Joe. Hashtag Joe, hashtag Simon, so Joe's 3. Everyone's hashtagging ravers.
Ravers. Quick, get him on the phone.
Ravers is hashtag the hashtag. Ravers, get in the party quickly, mate.
Going to quickly run home.
Right, come on, Joe.
Nah,
Take us away.
fine.
Just do what you can.
Right, LR Cooper then. First pole position of F3. It's only pre-season, but early pace is looking strong. Liam, however, is not too far behind in the Sauber. Preheated oven, mentioned in the driver's chat that he was purple in sector 1 and 2, as he's just hit the back of the Toro Rosso. But messed up the third sector, so maybe he's got some hidden pace, you never know. T. Smith in the Toro Rosso, again, just coming together in so I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. But yeah, a new driver, so be interested to see how he does. FTRL Foggy, as Aaron has touched on, quite an experienced league racer. Starting on those soft tyres though, so it will be quite difficult for him to move forward, I would imagine. Nexus Aspect in the very nice matte red Ferrari behind him. Hyper GT racer coming over from GT, so it's gonna be good to see sort of how he can do in F1. Can't be bumping anybody, or you'll be losing your front wing on this game. F2 driver Donzo starting P8, and Lee Call P9. FTRL Guy car in P10. Yeah, starting on the softs though. So again, with a couple of guys in front of him. Sorry, I've done it already. Mediums, but with a couple of guys on the soft starting ahead of him, he might actually move forward in this race, depending on how many stops he has to make. AJ P11 in the Red Bull with TRS P12. Well-known Agent Panda P13. So hopefully he can move himself up. BLT P15, who isn't actually showing up on my screen. Oh, it's because he's on the grid. And FTRO Junkie Sport P16.
Lovely work. Right, well, this could be one of the most interesting starts we see for a very long time as we approach 5 red lights at Austria for the first ever race of F3 and FTRL. Anticlimactic start, and it's lights out and away we go. LR Cooper's had a pretty good start from what I can see so far. Preheated oven's going to put Liam under pressure around the outside. Is there going to be much carnage? Is there going to be carnage?
Actually, not too
It's
bad.
really not
very
too
well.
bad. They've not done bad at all.
For a brand new division and a lot of new drivers.
Oh,
for
I was
everybody to make it to
expecting
the turn
chaos. I was expecting absolute chaos.
Liam's got
There's a big
Cooper
dive
at
bomb
turn
from a
3.
Haas. That is TRS has done an almighty lunge, might I say. Lee Cole, 5 second stop go for gaining a place whilst cutting a corner. That seems slightly harsh.
AJ making a move on Lee Cole.
Liam got the lead going up the hill to turn 3.
Okay, well I missed that. I was keeping an eye on the middle of the pack really, and all of this chaos that we might ensue. But yeah, no, Liam's set the early pace. Preheated oven is on the back of LR Cooper. If he's going to have to get past, he's going to have to do it pretty quickly on those soft tyres. Don't want to push too hard though, these guys.
Yeah, these guys on soft tyres. Oh, Hyper GT riding the curb at the last corner and flying out wide. It's lost that position to the Ferrari. But yeah, as I was saying, these guys on the softs really need to push hard and try and gain a few positions at the start because their tyres are going to fall off.
Oh, AJ's gone round.
Oh.
And he's been collected by one of the
Whoa.
McLarens.
Okay, who's that?
BLT.
That's BLT. Unlucky for AJ. BLT's doing a bit of charity work now. That promotes Junkie Sport up.
Got any damage. You got away with that one.
Is he not?
No. I think BLT's hit the side pod, so it's not actually
Big-
giving
Ah,
AJ
right.
any damage.
BLT's got damage off of it, but I think AJ's okay.
Okay, well, T Smith. So the front four have kind of created their own little pack, only by a second or so. But it's already sort of taking shape, settling down a little bit now. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. That is Agent Panda, who's still in the gravel.
It's the gravel.
Not the best start for Agent Panda. Now, he was a very motivated man at the start of this season. He was saying to me he's going to show absolutely no mercy. Hyper GT's round. LR Cooper's picked up a 3-second time penalty. Goy Karp with a legitimate overtake on Hyper GT. So that puts Goy. Well, preheated oven and Cooper going side by side into the hairpin. Oh, it's on the traction. Cooper's got the better run out. They're all neck and neck. Yeah. He's got the
That's
both
gone a long
DRS.
way.
Going to have to go a long way around, like you said. Oh, he's turned in a bit. Oh, he's turned in a bit too hastily there. Should have held that a little bit longer around the outside. Okay.
Yeah, these corners that they're going through now feel so much different.
Yeah.
The natural sort of understeer of the cars on this year's game. You really got to take your time and wait for the car to get a little bit straighter before you put the car down, otherwise you're in the gravel.
Certainly do. Right, well, Lee Cole is putting the pressure on Donzo.
Oh, TRS has gone round.
Oh, I've seen a lot of carbon fibre
There's
there.
a lot of wing on there.
There certainly is. Well, let's hope they keep
All of
going.
it, in fact.
Yeah, let's hope he keeps going, because it's a practice race. These things are going to happen. Agent Panda has
We've got
retired.
Junkie Sport and Agent Panda in the pit lane.
Yeah, I think they've hit each other coming into the pit lane.
Where is Agent Panda's car? Oh, it's
It's
there.
in the
just
pit
carry
lane.
on.
Very
TRS doesn't
strange.
actually have damage.
Oh, Goy Karp around the outside of Donzo. Into the hairpin, Goy Karp. 2 legitimate overtakes.
Boy's on fire.
He's flying. Next on his agenda is Lee Cole. Is 5.8 seconds is the gap. I'm going to go up to this battle for second because Cooper is still
I'll say
very, very
Cooper's
close.
Still there, still on the diffuser of the oven.
Well, Liam looks fast at the moment, but the oven's going to have to go into the pits within the next couple of laps, I think.
He's doing it now, I think.
Is he going to do it now?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, he's in.
So I mean, he got the move done, but those softs go off way too easy. That's why I don't
Yeah.
think a lot of these soft runners are gonna move forward, because softs just go off way too quick.
Preheated oven onto the medium side, so that is a 2-stop for him, as it probably would have been anyway. Now, unless we see a safety car or something, I can't see people that 2-stop this race being anywhere near challenging for the win. Must be said. Now the field's pretty much spread out now. BLT is closing down Junkie Sport. And McLaren versus Williams. Let's turn on this telemetry. Only got 8% battery. Hyper GT's running off in the corner there. Yeah, it's not having the best of times.
Yeah, he's got some wing damage on the right hand side, which isn't going to be helping his case.
Oh yeah, quite a lot of wing damage.
Well, the race has kind of settled itself down now, so we can really kind of compose ourselves a little bit until we start racing for the first pit stops in the next probably 8 to 10 laps or so, maybe.
William is pulling out a big gap now.
Yeah, he's looking quick. He is looking fast indeed. Let's go and see
I
what
think
Hyper
preheat
GT's
oven
up to.
and LR Cooper flying behind him really helped, just to let him get away.
Well, Hyper GT's had a moment and gone off. Donzo applying the pressure. DRS closing down Goy Karp. Could this be a familiar battle that we see in F2 next season? Or this season, should I say?
Well, we can only hope.
What stuff? What dreams are made of?
Absolutely.
Donzo I tell you what, deserves a big mention because he and half improved, didn't he, from when he first joined?
Oh, massively. I think I touched on that last night in the F2
Yeah.
practice race.
I mean, he came. I mean, him and Peteman both committed. They were watching every single race together. Both went out and bought the game, bought themselves new curved TVs, wheels, and everything. So they really got involved in it, which is lovely to see. Preheated oven.
Oh, I'd say he's just come by out of nowhere. I was on board with Donzo.
Yeah, he's a bit forceful, but then again, he's a man on a mission. I imagine that Goy's in a party with him now, so I imagine Goy will let him through. Yeah, Goy pulls over. Preheated oven is through. Now Donzo, can he capitalise on this? Donzo go for the almighty lunge.
Goy's overshot.
Oh,
That new braking.
oh dear!
Oh,
I can see that coming a mile off.
yep. Got away with it though.
Yep, certainly did. Ask Comms, will Goy Carp get a podium this season? #no. Well,
Let me guess. Raver's answering his own question there.
oh, of course. But yeah, I mean, we've currently got 20 people watching this. Thank you all very much for giving up your time to come and see what all this is about. Goy Carp doing a little bit of charity work, playing around in the gravel. But at the moment, it's all calmed down. I must admit, and I don't want to jinx anything, I was expecting a lot more chaos. I must admit, I braced myself for a lot of chaos tonight.
I was going to say, there's been one or two moments, but nothing, severe.
Nothing that we don't
It's
see
just
in
been
F1.
pure. No, exactly. It's just pure racing incidents.
Exactly. So, well, Lee Cole, if I can get onto Lee, he is closing down Nexus Aspect. So, Lee's found a little bit of pace here. He's pulled away from the likes of Donzo and everyone, and he was actually in a battle with Donzo, I believe, earlier on. And now he's found himself on the back of Nexus Aspect, who is certainly not a slow driver. Got plenty of battery as well. Bottle saying, seems like Cooper is quick in one lap pace but struggling for race pace. Pagani asked Comms, if Goy scores points tonight, if Goy scores points tonight, why is the only race he hasn't scored points in his own division? That's true, actually. Yeah, Goy scored points in the F1 practice race the other day, didn't he?
He did indeed.
Yellow in sector 2, and Hyper GT's round. He's had a massive moment.
Yeah, and one of these guys sort of
He
transitioning
needs to
over
move
from
out of the way. Oh, good lad.
from GT. It's such a different game. I think it will take him 3 or 4 races this season to get used to it.
Well, Hyper GT's got the Donzo Goy Carp battle bearing down on him.
Oh dear.
Nico!
Oh dear.
Done well to keep it out the wall though.
He's done very well there.
Hopefully Donzo doesn't collect him. No, he's off, he's gone. There we go.
Oh, Hyper
good.
GT's gone. Unfortunately, 10 laps of pain for him.
Yeah.
It's finally come to an end. No, not the best start, but nevertheless, I must admit, I'm very impressed with Lee keeping it out of the wall.
Yeah, I don't think
It was good save in that respect.
It was. It's all of them crashes that you do against him, Si, in GT Sport.
Yeah, he's got a bit wise to those.
Yeah. Well, Nexus Aspect is probably breathing a sigh of relief now. Preheated ovens had a bit of a gift in that respect. On that position, he's not had to fight too hard for it, put too much stress on them tyres. Goy Carp and Donzo still sticking together.
Well, but Foggy and AJ are still on the soft tyre they started on,
That's impressive, must be said.
which isn't a bad effort considering had a quality cycle through him as well.
Well,
Nexus aspects though is catching Foggy quite rapidly, so those softs are definitely on the edge, I think.
yeah, I mean, if Foggy's taken those tyres effectively about 12, 13 laps if you include qualifying, he's going to be able to take hards to the end from now, isn't he? So
You'd have thought so.
I'd like to think that Foggy will be sensible enough to go in within the next, well, this lap, because look how much Nexus Aspect's closing him down now.
I was going to say that's like 0.8 of a second in one sector.
Oh, we can
And
see a
that's
lunge
rain.
here. We're going to see a
That's
lunge.
rain.
Is that rain?
It's rain.
Oh,
That's
that's a bit.
why
That
it's
is
rain.
rain.
Jet.
Yeah, I was going to say that. That explains why Foggy is trying to drag these tyres out.
Okay, so maybe it might not be. Oh wow. Okay, well, changeable conditions at Austria, one of the smallest, twistiest circuits on the calendar. These boys have certainly got a test among themselves tonight, haven't they? Foggy's not going to go in yet, though, surely, is he?
No,
He's going now. He's committed.
Foggy.
Has Foggy got a puncture?
Has he?
Because he's going very, very slow.
He's going very slow. Unless he's just gone that slowly to make sure he's
Changes,
got the tyres set right.
Well, I'm going to stay on board with Foggy now. I think he's going to put the intermediates on. He's going to have to, surely.
If he does anything but the interior, he's mad.
Yeah, he's put the inters on. I think it's way too early.
I think that's too early, but we've seen how quickly this track, or this game, should I say, has
Preheat oven again has come out of absolutely nowhere and got past Nexus Aspect. Preheat oven is flying.
Yeah, it really is. Oh, that was close. Well, this is going to be a test for them all, isn't it? Let's see how they get on in these changeable conditions. I bet Pagani's frothing at the mouth. He loves changeable conditions.
He's already in the chat. 2 out of 3 practice races with changeable conditions.
AJ's lost it, turn 1.
It's Pagani's
AJ.
season.
Red Bull without a tyre. How is that not a safety car, Codemasters? He's literally smack on the racing line.
Well,
Turn 1.
BLT was literally crawling into the pit, so it must be DRS disabled time coming up very soon, I would imagine.
Nexus Aspect lost it.
Oh, this
managed
is
to save the car, but took a little bit of damage.
this is where the chaos is about to unfold.
This is it.
Well, I don't think it's time yet. I don't think it's time because Foggy isn't closing Goy. Oh, yeah, Nexus Aspect is struggling now. Everyone's driving off.
You've got to make the call when the RS goes off.
The oven was almost straight on at turn 4.
Lee Cole on Nexus. Nexus is going to be in his dirty area. He's probably going to get a massive tailwind out of this. Oh, Lee's off.
Lee Cole's gone deep.
Yeah, this is going to keep happening now.
Oh, Donzo's gone off as well.
It's just a repeat cycle.
He went off at the same corner as well.
Yeah, Goy's off. Cooper's got a penalty.
They're coming in. They're coming in.
In. Right, there you go. There's DRS disabled. It is time. Time to unleash the Goy.
Where was Foggy when he pitted? 4th, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to get back up there because I think he's.
I say he was 4th or 5th when he came in.
He's getting held up massively behind this McLaren here as well now.
BLT's had a massive spin. Oh, lost his wing. But he's carried on. Good lad.
Oh, Liam and Cooper are both out, and Cooper has closed the gap. Oh no, that's a Haas. Never mind. I just saw 2 cars right next to each other and got excited.
Well, Foggy's on the pit straight now.
Yeah, and preheated oven's already come out, so he's lost so much time there. Back up to P5 though, so he's only lost a position, really.
He's a very smooth driver though, is Foggy. So, and what you got to remember is his tyres will already be up to temperature. So I imagine he's not going to close the preheated oven, but he's going to be in a rhythm now. I would imagine. Not
going to cause up doing that.
Yeah, it's all part of the plan. Donzo, well, I've seen the yellow flags.
Line.
Okay, right. Well, let's see what these guys are made of. TRS is still on the medium tyre. Interesting choice. Very interesting. I mean, he's gone full Tokyo Drift. Yeah, yeah. It's probably time to pit. I just want to throw that out there.
No, don't stop. Keep going. Oh, he's letting people through. Okay.
Oh, good lad.
Oh, he can't even put his foot down. Oh, that must be painful.
82 comments in the stream now.
Got Haas.
Keep those coming in. Foggy early change master plan. Napola with no.
Oh, missed the pit lane by a mile.
Nice to see you back in the chat, Napola. What, Lee Cole? What? Nexus Aspects had a massive moment because Lee's just closed up about 2 seconds from probably like the length of a sneeze. So he's. Hyper GT has left the session. In the time it will take to sneeze, he's caught up that amount. I got it wrong. Shut up. Leave me alone.
I was going to say, Joe enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
It's just such a weird thing to say.
I don't know, Joe. I'm excited. It's F3.
It is. I'm glad you think
it's shiny and new.
Yeah, exactly.
It's looking very cold and wet at them, isn't it?
It's like you when you get a new stress ball. Do you know what I mean? That happiness.
My local store's sold out with stress balls. I buy way too many.
It's Joe that keeps the stress ball making companies in business.
Yeah.
I'll get them imported from America now.
He doesn't have to go shopping for them, they just get sent to him. Test this.
It's sponsorship.
Well, Goy Carp is currently running in P6.
Go on, the Goy.
Go on, the Goy. Well, I haven't seen that many penalties. I've seen a few. But what we got to remember tonight, Lee's
yeah. we were all on board with that one.
We're all like, in order. What we need to remember is this is obviously just, going back into a serious mode for a second. It is purely a practice race, a test race, and given the fact that these guys, a lot of them haven't league raced before and whatever else, they're doing a bloody good job of it, I think. So especially,
it's not an easy track.
It's not an easy track. No, and the reason why we picked Austria was because it is a short, twisty kind of tight circuit, and
there's some heavy braking zones on it.
Yeah, always a risk of rain, which is what we've seen. Changeable conditions. I've had effectively one of the most difficult sort of tests they could have. So good on them for doing that. Should have given a Monaco, yeah. Monaco, heavy rain, turn off all assists.
At night.
Oh, Nexus Aspect.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, Lee Cole,
moment.
he looks, given the fact of the other day when we did a practice race, and he didn't seem like he was struggling, but the pace wasn't there as much as what it's showing now. So he's obviously been putting in the hours, and he's done a good job of it. And now I've noticed something.
He looks like a very smooth driver when you go.
Other than when he's going sideways around the penultimate corner, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, he's set, but I don't think he's suited for the wet weather.
Yeah.
It's exhibition driving.
Oh,
he's having fun.
I'm gonna stop talking about him before he puts it in a wall.
I've noticed. So for those that are watching that don't know, we have a very particular name for the final corner at Austria. In particular, that little yellow slab that sits on the corner of it. Now I can't repeat it because it's well, we'd probably get the channel taken down, but we're going to call it the Harry Maguire because he's a big slab head. I've noticed Nexus Aspect takes such a narrow line through that final corner, and it really compromises him. Let's see if he does it on this lap as well. But he seems to take a really narrow line through that final corner, and it loses him so much time. TRS has gone to full wet.
Is he riding the slab, you mean?
Pretty much, but on his entry to it, he's really sort of hugging it as well. He doesn't come out wide and swing in. Now, he was doing this earlier. He's probably going to do it fine now, knowing my luck. No,
yeah, that
wasn't too bad. Beforehand, he was really staying over to the right. Now, I don't know whether he was just losing the back end slightly coming out the penultimate corner and it's messing up his line, but I just have a feeling that could be to his detriment at some point. TRS is on the wet tyre. Full wets.
Interesting.
Let's see how he gets on with BLT. Look at how nice those rain marks look on the Haas. Looks so good.
I think that Haas
no,
might be,
it's not time for wets.
No,
Why do we talk about drivers? We should just sit here in silence and everybody will be alright.
We'll put a stream on, we'll flip between the drivers, but we won't say a word. Well, let's just take a second to appreciate the race leader.
Yeah, he's flying away.
He's absolutely flying. I mean, credit to T. Smith as well. He's never touched a league before in his life. As in, you know, had no idea the runnings of the league, how it works or anything like this. He literally joined less than a week ago. He looks quick as well. LR Cooper, I was told by multiple sources that he is extremely fast now, and saying that he would walk F3, and I think given this evidence it's going to be a lot closer than what people anticipate this season. So
especially when you take into consideration people like Andrew Haig, who isn't here tonight. We've seen some pretty good pace from him in.
Well, I know that Ivan's
one of the races we've done.
Ivan's a racer. Jamie, who's been in PSGL for years.
Aspects had a what moment?
Oh,
Lee Cole's got him.
Yeah. Now, is he going to outbrake himself here? No. That's a big thing on this game, isn't it, Si?
What, braking? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no, in terms of like, if you're actually sitting behind a car,
I was
going
say, if
into
you're
a
in the
corner.
wake of the car in front, approaching the braking zone, the fact that the aerodynamic effect on the front wing is reduced, has been reduced by the fact that the wings are simplified now. You don't get the sort of drag effect you had in the last game.
No.
So you're having to brake either much earlier, or you're actually having to pull out to get some air going over it.
Big moment from Nexus Aspects.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a big thing, and obviously having to brake so much earlier in general in this game as well. Nexus Aspect is really struggling in these conditions. That's probably down to his setup. I had the same thing myself on Monday at China. What's happened? I keep seeing yellow flags. Yeah. Well, BLT is still going around doing what he needs to do. Junkie Sports sitting in the points. Yellow flag, sector 3.
At this point, for these guys, it's just getting laps under your belt.
Yeah, getting it in the league kind of format. Do you know what I mean? Going the full 50%, doing the short qualifying, you know, practicing pit stops, changeable conditions, whatever else. So now there hasn't been that much in terms of battles. It'd be quite nice to see a battle form. Now I don't want to jinx anything or wish anything bad on anybody, but if someone could have a moment or something, it'd be.
Just let Liam go through. So our people will be passing him soon. But Hyper GT brings up a good question in the chat, which I was going to actually mention when we were talking about the Haas. The fact that it's going to look very different, hopefully, in a couple of updates time because of the split with
announcement.
Yeah, I mean, is that a genuine thing? Has that actually happened, or was it just?
I think so, yeah.
A lot of people. Well, I just heard some people saying it was just people messing about, but.
I mean, you never know with Rich Energy.
Well, no, they're a joke of a company, aren't they? They're a bit like Tottenham. They're just kind of there and really annoying.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've said it. I'm allowed.
I mean, it hasn't made any of the reputable news outlets yet that I can see.
No. I'm just on a helicopter mode, helicam mode. That's really nice the way that the rain's.
I'm so jealous of you right now.
Why have you not got it?
No, I love a helicopter shot.
Yeah. I really like the way that the rain wasn't just falling straight down. on that helicopter view, it was kind of blowing off to the left.
TRS has called it a night.
Yeah, TRS has done his work for the day. Well, we've got 14 laps left. I'm more kind of interested at this point now in speaking to whoever ends up on the podium and just getting to know a couple of the guys, seeing what their ambitions are. You know, if not, I'm sure the preheated oven will come in and talk some rubbish for a couple of minutes.
Like I say, I'll talk absolute gibberish for 5 minutes and probably get us shut down.
Probably, yeah. Probably get the stream blocked. Yellow's in sector 1. It's hard. I'm seeing so many yellow flags coming up everywhere. This has remained on, these yellow flags, and I don't know why.
Can I just say as well, BLT, a lap down, miles away from the next car, but he's still going.
Yeah, good on him. But this is what it's all about. Like, the thing is, a lot of people that are watching this, you know, might be thinking, oh, why would you still bother or whatever else, but what you got to think about is every single one of us at some stage has been in this position, like completely new to the F1 games, and you've gone to do something reasonably competitive, and you know, you're just driving around on your own at the back, getting lapped, making mistakes, spinning, whatever else. I remember when I used to be like that, and I was like it for a long time, and then all of a sudden it will just start to click. But we all have to be there at some stage, and this is what F3 was all about. So good on him for sort of persisting with it, and I guarantee you he'll pick up points this season just by continuing and whatever else. Obviously he could have just had a bad night tonight, you never know, he might end up having some good races, but on the whole it's good to see that kind of thing happening. So
I mean, you take out the couple of F2 drivers and he's in the points, so boom.
Exactly. But also Lee's done well, some encouraging pace. I agree, he looks a lot more promising than maybe he did a couple of weeks ago. Which is,
it would be a little bit further up the road as well had he not had that big spin. So.
Well, exactly, he's had a couple of moments.
Not doing too bad. Oh, somebody ahead of him's just had a moment now.
It's Goy Carp.
Goy's
in pit lane.
Wet?
Has he lost some wing?
I can't tell
No.
from on board.
There's no wing waiting for
No
him. but he's
wing,
not-
just fresh inters.
Huh?
Well, Pagani called it. Would they need fresh inters before the end of the race?
Maybe so. If so, you never know. Goy Carp could have.
And Goy says, yes, I do.
Or Donzo is coming out. Goy Carp. We have a battle. We have a battle.
Goy has answered your prayers, Aaron.
Thank you, Goy. Gold star for you, sir. %100% on his battery as well, Goy. Ooh, those tyres are cold, Goy.
And I thought the inters could go a little bit longer.
They probably could. It might have just been a precaution. Goy maybe just wanted to have a little fresh run. The thing is, at this stage, the result doesn't really matter that much, especially for Goy and Don, because it's not their division either. So they're probably just, you know, getting a little bit of practice, using it as a practice session more than anything else.
Saying that, we call a nexus aspects of both for the inters, so it's obviously a timed sort of planned thing from the teams in the MFD.
Goy's
It looks like Goy might jump from both here, to be honest.
Goy's teasing us with ERS at this point. Who's that come out the pits just in front?
Got Foggy? No.
No. I'm just trying to figure out who that was. Donzo, oh,
We've
BLT.
got BLT in front of them.
Ah.
Oh, we've got like
But
a
yeah,
4-car train now.
So Goy's jumped Lee and Nexus aspect.
Right, well, T. Smith has put the wets on. Whether that was intentional. Doesn't strike me as wet weather.
I mean, this rain does look like it's got heavier though.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. Oh, getting past BLT now.
Oh, he's coming back on track. Ooh.
So preheated oven is falling off the back of T-Smith rapidly, so those wets obviously doing something right.
But Foggy's gone in and put the wets on as well.
The monsoon out of nowhere.
I know. Guy Carper's attacking. This is the beauty of what can happen in this. I never thought I would say the words Guy Carper's attacking. Bless you.
Bless you. Have these...
Oh, Donzo!
Don's gone.
And Liam's pit for the wets, so
I was just about to say, have these guys that went for the fresh inters blinked too early? Oh, Guy's had a wobble.
Yeah, LR Cooper
He's it up.
Liam as well has come out right behind this.
Oh, Foggy's round. The intermediates are not the right tyre. Foggy is... Oh no, Foggy's on the wets. Okay, ignore me.
Oh, Liam is getting extremely close to that Ferrari. He needs to get through this.
Oh, there's so much going on now.
Yeah, he's right behind LR Cooper. Those wets have gained a lot of time. So LR Cooper needs to fit. These guys need to get off the inters.
Foggy's slow. Guy's got him. Lee's got him.
Oh, who's in this?
Oh!
God, there's so much going on. I don't know where to look.
It's just LR Cooper with a massive slide, but
Guy's off. He's back
LR
on.
Cooper's in. Guy Carp down to 6th. Lee Cole flying up in 5th.
Yeah, so Liam retakes the lead.
Let's go on board with Foggy and watch this all unfold in front of him. Nexus Aspect has had a slight wobble behind. As Guy Carp's a little bit closer now to Lee, is he?
Oh, the game heard me. It's giving me a helicopter shot.
Cole, a little bit of a moment out of the hairpin.
Guy Carp, is he going to take a lunge? He's going to... Oh, he's just smashed into the back of Lee.
Oh, he's gone straight across the corner.
This is
just gone. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Well, this is exactly what we were speaking about earlier, wasn't it?
Oh, don't take out the leader, please.
Oh, Lee. Oh, Lee.
Good lad.
Okay. Oh. Oh, God.
Oh.
This is at that time where you're thinking to yourself, like, it was all going so well, and then, you know, he blocked the leader and whatever else.
Suddenly there's cars everywhere.
Lads, I was joking there, Ron. Can we just settle back down now, yeah?
Guy's got wing damage. But he's carrying on.
Well, Peakman's in the chat saying his last 10 laps are going to be juicy. Well, we now have a legitimate battle for P2, lads. LR Cooper and T Smith. Let's have a look at the difference on battery, pretty much the same.
The extra couple of laps where Cooper stayed out on those inters, I think is what gained T Smith all of that time.
Yeah, I mean, he's closing that gap down.
Donzo's about to come out of the pits as well. I don't think he's going to interfere with these guys.
I'm going to stay on board here. He's going to have a look up into this hairpin.
There's a move here. It's coming.
Yeah, he's coming. Let's go to the broadcast. Cooper's going to lead that a bit later. Switch back, switch back, switch back. First F3 switch back. Can we see it? Nah. That was immediate driver of the day territory then.
He lined it up.
No.
Not got a lot of ERS though. Cooper's saving his ERS a lot better at the moment.
Yeah. Like I said, he's completely new to sort of any form of racing really. So he probably just needs to understand that a bit more.
Another thing I'm looking at, I mean, alright, preheated oven's probably safe to Foggy behind, but it's just the pace difference between the wet and the intermediate tyre at the moment. He's dropped 2 seconds in half a lap.
Yeah.
Alright, those tyres are 15 laps old as well, but...
Oh, LR Cooper! Really struggling through the penultimate corner. Six
yeah,
steps. Oh.
Liam out in front has handled this brilliantly.
Yeah, he's been brilliantly.
Mercedes is in.
Donzo, yeah, Donzo's in. No, Goy's in. Sorry. I've had a
More
message from
intermediates.
Grandad Bob saying this new F3 division's a bit tasty, ain't it?
Grandad Bob, legend.
The old boys watching. For those
Getting
that,
into F3.
yeah, for those that don't understand, I mean, first things first, wake up. He's my granddad.
Why else would it be called Grandad Bob?
Well, maybe he's just an old geezer called Bob. You never know. I mean, he's that as well.
Grandad.
Yeah,
It's granddad to somebody, yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Well, T. Smith isn't going anywhere. He's definitely putting people under pressure here.
But his DRS bar does look like it's going up.
Yeah, he's saving a bit more now.
Maybe he's watching the stream in the background and has heard us.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a massive shame if it was, but if I was him through the middle sector, I'd put that down to 0 and then use overtake purely on the straight.
Cooper's gone! Oh, he's gonna keep it out the wall. Oh, it's rejoined him.
Reset him. Cooper, wow.
Ooh.
Massive moment. He's all over the gaff.
It's everywhere.
He's all over the gaff.
How's he kept that out the wall?
He's more wobbly than Anthony Joshua against Andy Ruiz.
Preheated oven is looking at that racing point now.
Now I know Cooper's got a couple of time penalties, so it's all to play for. Donzo Goy battle last lap.
It's gone deep into the hairpin as well.
Where is the oven? There is the oven.
It's fallen back quite a bit actually. Even with Cooper's mistake there, he's fallen back by... Oh no, he's updated. 4.3, 4.2. So he's got his teammate in between him though. So hopefully Goy lets preheated oven through, but he doesn't lose too much time.
I'm sure he will. Well, Liam and T. Smith look pretty much set in stone now.
Yeah,
now,
I think a big mistake from Liam is the only thing that's going to stop him winning this race. Actually, I shouldn't have said that.
I mean, I feel for him. He's not really been mentioned very much, and really we should be praising him for how well he's done. But I think
when you know you've had a good race as well.
Exactly. This is when you know.
Yeah,
you know you've had a blinder of a race when no one's really said two words about you. So, must also be said, credit to Junkie Sport as well. He's kept it going for the entire race. Again, he's completely new to F1. He's always been GT Sport related and so on. For those that have seen the little FTRL intros and our videos, our graphics, our logos, everything that's been designed, if you like, for FTRL has all come through this man on your screen right now. So, yeah, he's insanely talented at stuff like that, and we are very, very lucky to have him in the league. So, let's keep him on our good side. Everyone support him.
Fog is in.
Foggy is in.
Inters.
That's going to be Lee Cole.
Rainsy stuff.
Big call though for only 3 laps, but I'm sure you could have tried and stick that out.
Yeah, I mean maybe he was just.
Is he putting the inters on? No, more wets.
Fresh wets.
That's an even more.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
How bizarre! How bizarre! Right.
What's a couple of positions doing that?
Goy Carp is rapidly closing down Donzo. I'm talking rapidly.
Look how much. Yeah, look how much
just
Cooper's fallen off the back of T-Smith.
Well, preheated oven.
Goy Carp
Go on.
paid a visit. He paid a visit to Harry Maguire there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pagani's saying.
Looking better than the lights at the minute.
Pagani saying, I pray these conditions keep up for Div 2 this season.
Sorry, mate. I'm not hosting F2 this season.
Oh, Goy. Almost inserting himself into the back of Donzo. Oh, Goy's braking very late for these corners.
Oh, yep.
He's basically.
It's dry.
Yeah, he's basically Willy Ticks in every corner now. Lunging the oxygen. poor old Donzo who's trying to drive around, enjoy his race. Next one, he's going to get clattered by Goy.
Well, I mean,
Slide.
Goy's the only man I know to have Willie tixed his gaming chair.
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, it's a big corner cut from Goy.
I say that's a cut.
What's Goy's run like out of Harry Maguire?
Goy
Goy's-
just needs to be patient. He's obviously got the pace. He's scored
No.
4 seconds in the
Lunge
last
incoming. No. He's put it
Foggy's
down
in the
into
pit
low.
again.
Foggy's in.
Oh, Foggy.
But the
I
thing
think
is,
Foggy just wants a battle.
it don't really matter. Like I said, at this stage, it's purely just about track time. So mixing it, is Goy going to take an almighty lunge? No. Oh, Donzo's gone deep.
He doesn't need to.
This is
Donzo's
going
not going to
to
be able to get the traction out there.
be a move, or an attempted move at least. Go on, Goy. Send it, Goy. There he goes. Oh.
Don felt it coming and
Yeah.
then went wide.
yeah. He's not really done though, I think.
Fucking yeah. Donzo decided to just swerve off into Belgium. He wanted no part of that.
And now Foggy's closing in on. See how
Foggy's
quickly
away.
Francis can catch up. 3 seconds, 1.5 laps. Let's go, Foggy.
Hello, Cooper gets himself another penalty.
Donzo, there's a moment. Up to the last corner. Seems like that second to last corner really catches people out. A lot of crashes happen there. Foggy's down to 2 seconds already.
Preheated ovens coming up as well. There's a yellow flag in sector 1 and sector 2.
Oh! Donzo's let.
I say
Is that-
Donzo
is
eased
that
off to
preheated
let the
oven?
oven go,
Yeah.
and Foggy took
Foggy
full
is
advantage.
capitalised. Yeah. Right, thank you very much.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well, I think what we're going to have to do at some stage in a minute, I'm actually going to take on board with Liam as he comes around to complete the race, because he's just been so dominant. I think he deserves the track time now. So Liam and the Alfa Romeo certainly showing an incredible amount of pace, which is good on him indeed.
Oh, Cooper's gone.
It was gone completely.
He's gone, yeah.
What happened there then?
Gone.
He's out.
He's
lost
out. Guy's
Three
gone.
and
So's Goy.
What's going on?
Why is everybody crashing?
Why everyone? Yeah, what's going on?
Where's Guy lost it? I think they've lost it in the same position, you know. I wonder if they've hit each other.
Well, Junkie Sport is. Whose car's that?
There's a car
That's
going very
Guy.
slow there.
Oh!
Junkie's hit it! Oh no!
Oh God! I don't think he realised that the car had retired.
Lost a
And
lot of drama.
not ghosted.
Yeah, not ghosted either. Well,
Lost a lot of drama.
oh, it's all happening. Lee Cole.
Where's the,
Well,
Well,
where is
Liam's
Liam?
on the fight finish straight.
There you go.
the
Casually
preheated
weaving
oven
across the
is
line.
Gonna get a, is
Yeah.
going to get a podium. Somehow.
Now the question
And
is,
the,
does the preheated oven have 44 seconds worth of penalties? Could Lee Cole jump him?
No.
No, thought not. That was a very crazy end to the race, wasn't it?
The man to so-called walk this week is crashed out.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't read too much into it. It's purely just, you know, first race, whatever else. BLT's retired on the last lap.
Oh, no way.
Well, after all that, I mean, if you include Zom, we had 16 people tonight. 7 have finished. Yeah, interesting.
Four crashed out on the last lap.
What a crazy end. So let's just get these guys in. Let's have a quick chat with them. Let me get them invited in here.
Cooper and Guy had her coming together.
Ah, right.
From what I'm reading in the.
Can I just say, right, on my screen, right, T. Smith's car was like disconnected the whole race, so I was 48 minutes ahead of him. 48 minutes ahead of him.
Wow.
Interesting.
Was he racing the whole time?
Yeah.
Are you what the?
Finished
I couldn't
second,
see
didn't
him
he?
on track. I couldn't see him on track.
Yeah,
I'd just go past him. I lapped him 4 times on mine.
Who was that?
T.
T.
Smith.
Smith, and it kept fluctuating between me second and him third.
Oh,
And I'm like,
Is- You want to watch the formation lap then, because your cars were jumping through one another.
Yeah.
Tom,
James.
you know, on my screen, the whole race, it was fucked. You were disconnected the whole thing. I lapped you 4 times, and you were 48 minutes ahead of me.
Right,
Yeah,
James.
sorry.
I
James.
lapped you 12 times and you got rammed
James.
off on my screen.
Yeah.
James, we're still live. Right.
Sorry,
It took a whole
Lads.
25 seconds for him to go off on one.
Yeah, right. First of all, can you all, I don't know if you would have all known this, but can you all do me a favour? Go into your party settings and double check that your voice is allowed to be shared so people can hear you on the stream.
Yeah, of course.
Let us know once that's all done, lads.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. What was it? Yeah.
So if you just go into, you've done it, yeah?
All good.
Perfect. Right, so, okay, first of all, so I'm being attacked with random crap, right, okay, so, first of all, lads, congratulations, we've obviously got 4 of you in here tonight. I thought it would make sense, and it's on our first ever F3 race, get the top 4 in, have a quick chat, obviously, about the goings-on, but first of all, I'll come to the race winner, Liam. So, mate, what a performance out of you.
It was. Oh, go on.
I was just going to say, well, qualifying, obviously, you end up qualifying P2, starting on the medium tyres. First of all, talk us through your qualifying. So, was you happy with your lap? Could you have got more out of it?
I only had so I knew it was going to rain, so I went in, knew it was going to rain, so I knew I had started on the mediums, but I only had 1 set, so I couldn't do like another lap, so that was literally all I could, so I couldn't do anything else, so that was, yeah. So disappointed I didn't get pole, but, yeah.
Well, nevertheless, it was still a very, very good lap. I mean, then moving on to the race, you had a pretty good start. I think you jumped Cooper, I think it was turn 3 on lap 1, and then it was kind of plain sailing after that. Was there much more to your race, anything that we missed, or was it just quite a case of being in a rhythm and seeing how you go from there?
Yeah, not a lot happened. It was literally just found the rhythm, went for it, yeah, pitted, pit stops were fine, yeah, just kind of going for it, yeah.
And how
Just
was
found
the-
rhythm, it was all-
Yeah, how was the kind of change of conditions? Because obviously with it being Austria, it's quite a tight, twisty kind of circuit. Changeable conditions are going to make that quite difficult, especially in like the change in there's hills and whatever else as well throughout the lap. So how did you how was the setup feeling? Was the car feeling stable in both sort of areas of the race?
Yeah. The wet, it was, because it was changing constantly, where it was like light rain, then it went to heavy rain, then it went to light rain again.
Yeah.
That it was sort of like going onto the inters at first was really, you were sliding everywhere. Then we went onto the wet tyres, and then it was sliding everywhere at the start. And then towards the end, because it turned back to inters, it was like ice for like the last 6 laps. It was insane. It was like I made so many mistakes. It was ridiculous. But yeah, it was quite bad at the end. But no, we got there.
Nice. Cool. Well, I mean, final question for you then. Obviously, that puts you, I suppose, mentally in a good place going into the start of the season next week. Obviously, brand new to the league. You only joined a matter of a few days ago. You've slipped straight in and whatnot. How are you feeling about it? Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, it's gonna be good. A couple of people that are potentially like favourites. When I think Anthony Hay, people like that I haven't seen race aren't here tonight, so I don't know how they've done. But you know, it's finishing 30 seconds ahead. It's confidence in it, so
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and yeah, just going to enjoy it.
Exactly. Well, like I said, it's a 12 race calendar. Bahrain, first race of the season. Obviously, 4 drivers will go up into F2 at the end of this season. Is that the ultimate aim for you after tonight? Then just trying to establish your top 4 spot as a minimum.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just I know this sounds like, but taking it one race at a time, just enjoying it.
Cop out,
really
answer then. Cop out. Yeah.
Not looking to go places. So no, just doing what I want to kind of do, basically.
Yeah. Well, good on you, mate. That was a brilliant display from you tonight.
Thank you.
Best of luck. I'm sure we'll be seeing you on a podium again at some point next season.
Thank you.
Cool. Right, Side Joe. Either one of you want to speak to? Is it Tom? Is it Tom?
Yeah, Tom?
Tom. That'll do.
Yeah, I'll do it. So, Tom, from what I understand, this is your first sort of experience of league racing. Is that right?
Yeah, correct. I gave up on F1 last season. I just didn't like the online on it and did a lot of GT sport. But yeah, in terms of F1 leagues, that's the first one.
So, how are you finding it? You're settling in well, enjoying it? People being nice to you in the chats?
Yeah, good. I'll speak to James. James is a friend outside of this, so he got me into it.
I got him pregnant.
It's good to do stuff that's not just a joke. Online racing's painful if you do just random lobbies. So it's nice to have something a bit more structured.
All right, well, we'll move on to onto the race. Obviously, like I said, first league race experience, but how did you find it on track?
Yeah, I knew I didn't have the pace of Liam and who was the one in front of me in the Force India?
Cooper.
Yeah, I knew I didn't have the speed of them two, but I thought, well, if I keep it out of the wall and pit early and force Cooper to pit in front of me, it brought me back in play, and I just tried to stay as close as possible and force a mistake, really. I wouldn't have had him on a race pace. I knew every time I got near him in the strategy swaps, he pulled ahead a few seconds a lap type thing.
Yeah, I think the swap that did it was the switch from the inter to the wet. Because I think he stayed out another couple of laps longer, and that really enabled you to eat into the gap.
It was more sort of annoying him rather than actually having a chance of getting past him.
Well, it annoyed him to the point that he spun out in front of you. So, yeah, strategy worked. So, moving on to the season proper next week, what the aims and aspirations for the season? Is it just a case of, get a few results under your belt and see where you are after a few races and then analyse it then, or have you got to, get go from the off?
I think I know I'm not the quickest one in the league, but I'm pretty confident I can stay out of trouble and avoid big penalties. So I'm going for the slow and steady, stay out of trouble. A good average is my aim.
You'll be surprised at how often the the keep it clean and keep going approach can work. So yeah, not bad to have.
Yeah, all good.
But yeah, best of luck for the season ahead, and yeah, hope to speak to you again on the podium soon.
Cheers, boys.
Right, I'm gonna get the bleep machine out ready for this now.
Everybody, get your earplugs in. Review. If you've got headphones on, take them off.
Who actually finished where?
I don't know.
Right, Liam won. Tom came second. You came third, James.
James just see, I'm on lap James 5 times, maybe something like that.
I want VAR.
Well, you've got my stream to go by. So, right, James, try not to swear and be a good boy, okay? Joe's going to ask you some questions and be a good boy, okay?
Keep it as short as possible to minimise this chaos.
Okay.
Right. How was that race for you then?
Oh, I don't know what went on. Qualifying, if we're starting with that, right? I thought, go out on the hards, right? 3 laps I invalidated. I'm like, brilliant. 114, banging, solid lap. So I go back in the pits. I'm like, right, time for the mediums on. Set of 105. I'm thinking, I don't know if this is preheated oven driving or Pastel Maldonado. That's a rapid lap, but it's quality sound. Then I put on the softs and only gained by a 10th. And I thought, well, that was pointless. Brilliant. So I thought, well, it's going to rain through the race. I thought, I'll put on the softs and I'll just stick them out for the first stint. and then 4 laps in, they'd already gone. And I was like, all right, well, sound brilliant. There's my strategy out the window. And I knew I didn't have the pace on the wets at all, and I knew that. So it was sort of about damage limitation with the race. So I just decided I'll stick on the inters because I knew it was going to fluctuate between heavy and light rain, and I knew that the heavy rain for me wasn't worth going in for the pit stop because I wouldn't make enough time up. So I thought, well, I'll do the closest way I'm going to get to the lads in front is by keeping the inters on. I think we got close to Cooper, was catching him by about a second a lap until Dive Bomb Goy came out of absolutely nowhere and just KO'd him. But no, congratulations to Liam and Tom, obviously. I mean, Liam is just my dad and he's brilliant. And Tom, mate, Tom, I lapped you 6 times, mate, so I have no idea where we were racing each other. For all I know, I'm going to watch the stream back. We could have been neck and neck into a corner. I didn't see you.
Closer. That's the funny part about it.
Yeah.
You want to see the formation lap? You want to see the formation lap?
When watching the formation lap.
You want to see it? You were mounting each other.
Oh, brilliant! Brilliant stuff.
No change there.
Just like real life. No, honestly, congratulations, boys. That was a class race.
Right. What was it like then racing? Obviously raced in F2 last season.
Yeah.
How does it feel sort of dropping down with a couple of new drivers around you? What was it like racing them? Obviously, a few guys missing. But...
I know my pace, and I know that I'm inconsistent. I know that there are tracks where I'm really quick, and there are tracks where I'm a bit average and slower. So I think it's perfectly suited for me to be in this division. I haven't earned the right to be in a higher division. So really, this season it's about consistently scoring points, 1 or 2 podiums here or there, and hopefully go up as 3rd or 4th driver. I don't see the championship being an option, but no, just looking forward to it, to be honest. Just get this consistency going, a bit more practice, and fingers crossed.
Very nice. I mean, that was actually going to be my next question, sort of where you're going to finish, but since you've already answered that, you're a teammate for this season then. Obviously wasn't here today, but
yeah,
British Bean or British Tea Gaming, formerly. How do you think you two are going to do? I mean, Aaron, I think, mentioned you guys as a dark horse for the constructors. I do believe
me and him are consistent, and we're both the same pace. So rivalry for this season will be Tom and Dan, definitely. Me and Dan would like to push for the constructors this season, 100%. We want to win that. So I guess we've got to wait and see how Bahrain goes. See if Dan and me can both complete a full season between us. And,
see if Dan can turn up as well.
See if Dan can turn up. That's always helpful. But yeah, no. Obviously, I'll watch the stream back, but yeah, no. Once again, lads, Tom, Liam, well done. Lee as well.
Pleasure.
Cool.
Thank you.
Right. Well, I will just go on to Mr. Lee Cole. First of all, before I do that, Liam, you've had a message in the stream from Hijacked Gaming saying, "Could you tell Liam I love him?" So you've inherited a fan immediately.
What a cutie! I love him too.
I'm assuming you know who that is, but yeah. Anyway, right, Lee. So I thought I'd get you in. Obviously, it's our first ever F3 race. I thought we might as well get an extra person in as well. A P4 out of you tonight. So my first question for you is, obviously you're familiar with FTRL through being in the GT Sport side of things. Obviously, I think you was literally the first person to express an interest in moving over onto the F1 when we said we were going to do a 3rd division. How have you found the transition, first of all, from GT to F1?
I think I'd probably give a good example of that earlier when I was doing some practice for this race, and then I jumped over to do GT Sport, and one of the races was around the Red Bull Ring in the Clios, and it was a different world. Just the way the cars are, it's a lot more aggressive in terms of the throwing it in, whereas GT Sport you've got to be more careful and pick your corner entry a little bit better. So I mean, I've played the last 2 F1 games, so it's not completely alien to me, but this is the first time I've done a proper competitive race, and yeah, I think that's gone probably beyond my expectations. I think if we if there's been a GT Sport race, then I'd finish fourth again, because that seems to be my favourite place to finish in the GT Sport League. I would be livid, but I'm probably the happiest man to have finished fourth place in a Formula 1 race.
Well, that's a good sign. I mean, looking at it from, I mean, I kind of want to veer off ever so slightly of the on-track stuff. Now, since you've obviously, I think you found FTRL just through, I think it was on Twitter or something like that, when we were kind of advertising and whatnot. And obviously from then on, like I said, you're an integral part of the GT Sport side of things. You've now become an admin on that side of things as well. You've moved over to the F1 side of it all. What's kind of, if you don't mind me asking, and for those that are kind of watching and whatnot, what's kind of made you want to do so much in FTRL? Is there like is it the environment, or is it the people? What is it that's kind of made you integrated into it all so easily?
I think it's a bit of everything, really. I mean, I love racing in like, real life, and gaming's kind of been my way to be involved in that personally. So I love playing racing games, and sort of that next step up in terms of challenge is pitting yourself against other people. So I joined the league. It was the first one just before I joined FTRL, and then sort of just spotted online that you guys were looking. So I thought, oh, it's great. There's another one to join. And I've really enjoyed it since I've been in. You guys are all brilliant. You're great fun. The league is competitive, so I get the chance to test myself, and I'm having to push myself to get better, because you never really know where you're at in terms of how good you are playing these games until you put yourself against other people and realise that you're not as good as you think you are.
I have that even now. I run the league, and I've done for 2 years, and I still think I'm better than I am. So yeah, but I mean. Yeah, just a final couple of things for you. Obviously, we saw a practice race at Australia that we all kind of just threw together one night. This was probably around a week or so ago. And, I mean, I think there was a couple more mistakes in that race to what there was tonight. And obviously, as you've seen, just from the consistency of doing lap after lap and just putting in those consistent lap times, you've ended up with a P4 tonight. Have you got a specific kind of ambition for the season? Obviously everyone's kind of going in blind, really. It's a new game, new people, new division, new everything. So obviously one practice race, we've got a good idea of things, but have you got maybe a few things up your sleeve, or are you try not to be overly ambitious?
I would love to say I've got some things up my sleeve, but I'm wearing a short sleeve t-shirt to say whatever they are, they've fallen out. No, I mean from the race last week, I think I saw that I was towards the lower teens in terms of the qualifying, and I had a good start and was sort of running in the points in the race, and unfortunately, like you said, a couple of mistakes cost me a potentially better result. So I mean, I think realistically, if I can get some solid point scoring at the lower end, I will be happy. I think there's some really quick guys in here. Liam, Pre-11, obviously my teammates seemed pretty quick last week. Obviously there's a couple of people who aren't here, so I think those are going to be the guys battling, and even putting in the time, I think I'm still some way off getting to their level for this season at least. So if I can get a decent point haul this season, then I will be happy.
Happy days. Well, nevertheless, congratulations to all four of you tonight. On the podium, on the win, and obviously your P4 lead, which I know you're over the moon about, which you just stated. Obviously tonight was a big night for FTRL. It was our first ever F3 race. It takes, for those that are still watching and listening to us rabbit on about stuff, like I said, it does genuinely take us so many hours to put all this together. So it's a kind of a sense of pride when all of this has happened. So to those that are in F3, for those that are watching it, for those that are following the league in general, thank you very much. And yeah, we can't wait for all of the season to unfold. One last quick thing, obviously I know I mentioned earlier on, it's a bit off topic, but I mentioned Foggy earlier on about him being in the Marines. I was incorrect, he's in the Royal Artillery. I've just been pointed that out, and I need to make that very, very clear. But no, so that puts the end to our practice week in FTRL. We are back on Monday for the first race of the season in F1, where we take underneath the lights of Bahrain Bahrain's always been one of the best circuits we ever do in FTRL, and I imagine it's going to be an unbelievable first week of races. Obviously the F3 boys will be taken to the stage on Wednesday and F2 on Tuesday, and also we have our GT Sport League this Friday as always, which will be live streamed and commentated on. So please join us then. Thank you very much for joining me tonight, Simon and Joe, and I'm sure that you'll hear us throughout the season as it all goes on. Nevertheless, we will see you next week for the first week of the season. Thank you all very much and good night.